Real quick, you were at the fights.
Yes.
Friday night.
Yeah, at the Fontainebleau.
Yeah. How was the Fontainebleau?
It's cool.
Yeah.
At first I thought, okay, I don't know. There's a new hotel, but it's on the rougher side of the strip. It's at the midpoint before you get to the,
It's right there.
It's like Fashion Show and beyond. It's the bougie.
Where it started getting tricky.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. And I think I started to pick up that there's some life at the Fontainebleau. Once Devin and Tank had a run in there, and once Ryan Garcia was saying, "Hey, everyone head to Fontainebleau," I said, "Oh, okay." So I guess the party people are getting live at Fontainebleau. I just show up to cover fights and go home.
Me too.
Anyway,
me too.
We had the young kid on. How did he look?
DJ?
Yeah.
He workmanlike performance. Okay. Didn't blow anyone away, but he was consistent behind his jab. Had a guy in front of him, and this is often in your first 15 fights, right? When you're fighting veterans who know they're kind of outgunned, and they're fighting more or less to make a distance and frustrate you and catch you with the occasional shot that you can walk into because you're doing everything you can to look impressive.
Right.
So every now and then they snipe you with one. But outside of that, I mean, he won basically every round. He stayed behind his jab. He looked good, but still some growing to be done for DJ. At 13-0.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, gets the
baby in the game.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the co-main. We had Abraham Nova and
Andres Cortes.
Yes, sir, Andres Cortes.
Not an easy fight to score, but I thought Nova out-hustled him. Wasn't necessarily super effective.
Yeah.
Cortes got him to fight his fight pretty early on. Nova had to give up on outboxing from the outside. So he tried to just, bite down and dig it out by out-hustling him, beating him at his own game. And I did think in a majority of the rounds he out-threw him and out-landed him, which is why I would have been fine with him getting a decision. But every time Cortes landed, which wasn't as often, it was more effective. And
cleaner.
It shook up Nova more than Nova was ever able to shake up Cortes. But Cortes missed weight, looked soft in the midsection.
He did.
Throughout the fight. It wasn't an impressive performance by any means, and he's probably fortunate to get out of there with a win. But it wasn't the easiest fight to score.
Was that one of those fights that depends on what you like as a judge?
A little bit.
You want the hustle side, you want the cleaner shots. I mean, my man worked all 10 rounds. I give him that.
Yeah.
And then dude was punching while he was punching, landing big shots. I thought Nova won. I feel like, is this the second time Nova had a crazy decision like this?
No,
Oshaki
came on strong and dropped him in the 12th, so no controversy there.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was a little surprising that he wasn't able to fight at range with Cortes very long. And he looked even tired. He looked even arm weary halfway through the fight, but he just kept coming and coming. And Cortes, who's usually very active on the inside and good on the inside, his energy wasn't there the way it normally is. Maybe the weight cut, missing weight by a pound. And so I don't know what was going on there. He usually has a little bit more burst and energy in the pocket, which Nova obliged by fighting him most of the night. It wasn't a pretty fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't a pretty fight.
It wasn't a pretty fight.
It was.
It wasn't pretty, but it was entertaining.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fun fight to watch. I kind of felt like what you were saying at the beginning of what you just said here was that it seemed like Cortes got Nova to fight his fight. In turn, what I feel, as a judge, you were watching this fight unfold in a way you didn't expect it to. Because Abraham has the longer arms, is the taller fighter, you would think that this fight's supposed to take place on the outside. Because it doesn't. You have the mindset that Cortes is actually controlling this fight and making it look the way that it's looking. And I didn't feel that way, but I feel like from a judging standpoint, that's what happened. I think the judges kind of fell into this fight's taking place on the inside. Cortes must be winning because
he's in control. That's his style. That's
exactly.
his fight.
Yeah, that's what I felt, man. I thought Nova had the hustle and bustle. Of course, he got hit with the clean shots. There were even for me a couple rounds that I said his work rate was high. But Cortes, I think he snuck that round. As a fan watching this, trying to judge this fight, Antt, let me tell you what I'm doing. The fan in me want to get around to Nova, but the other side of me saying, well, there looked like some big shots landed from Cortes. So I'm just trying to give you guys like this is a true way that these judges actually have to judge some fights. You know what I mean? There's only so many times you can see a fight and see a fighter before something that they do imprints on your brain, before something that they've done makes you a fan of theirs, and then all of a sudden there's this tug of war between integrity and what is actually real. You know what I mean? And it's really hard.
What would the perception be by most people watching?
Exactly.
Even though I, as a judge, know better and know what I'm supposed to be looking for.
So it's like whoever styles dominates the most, that's who wins. Do we really? Okay, Zytel boxing beat Shawn Brawler. Oh, we boxed all night. Zytel won the fight.
Even though I was getting hit with more shots. But I guess their logic was they're fighting Cortez's fight, and Cortes is landing the harder shot. Not nearly as many of them, or not throwing as many of them, but he's landing the hardest punches in the fight. And Nova, failed early on to fight his fight and had to kind of fight Cortez's fight. And so that's their logic.
That's 2 losses now for Nova, right?
3.
That's 3 losses.
Robesi, Ramirez, Foster, and now
that
Cortes.
was one I forgot.
Tough fighters.
Tough fighters. But here's my thing. That's 3 fights for the young man Nova. I feel like there's a lot of fighters that get put in the journeyman role once they hit 3 fights of 3 losses, 4 losses. The performance that he had shows clearly that he's got the energy, that he's still healthy, that he can still game plan, that he can still follow through, execute. The list goes on. I'm really begging right now that y'all don't put this young man in a gatekeeping role. Like, still give this man good, exciting fights that he can be in on TV.
But sometimes don't you have to fulfill that role and then upset one of those young, undefeated kids they're feeding you to. And that's how you get your title shot again. Right? You drop a couple fights, sometimes that's the position you're in now. You got to fight out of that position, right? Or
it's Shawn Porter.
Well, he never quite got there.
Judging, but from a
that would have been the Boots fight.
From a judicial aspect, though, that's how he ended up losing this fight.
Right.
He didn't lose this fight based on performance or lack thereof. He lost this fight based on just the judicial process worked against him. Right. Worked against him on fight night. If he gets his hand raised because of activity, if he gets his hand raised because he made weight, you know what I mean? Like some of these some of these, he in the title shot. That's my point. You know what I mean? So I just hate to see him now. All of a sudden, they're gonna, for the sake of words, throw him to the wolves or feed him to a younger, hungry fighter that.
Upset a couple of those guys.
Hypothetically, if he didn't lose this fight, they wouldn't see him yet. You know what I mean?
We might say, turn your ass around, young man.
Yeah,
I got another title shot. I gotta get.
That's a hard night out for a young person that's not experienced.
Jesse James Leha did Bojado like that. Back, remember Francisco Bojado?
Yeah, of course,
remember he was on the rise. He was, and then he fights Jesse James, and he said, no. I'm getting this Arturo Gatti payday, young man.
Yeah.
I'm getting this Costa Zoo Arturo Gatti paydays.
Hey,